exciting is it to be back involved with the national team with such a big World Cup qualification campaign on the horizon?
Really good, really exciting for me. I think for me personally, I was grateful at the first time round to get the opportunity really early on. It developed me as a coach, manager, a lot. I think I'm definitely more experienced now, but I've slipped straight back in and it feels very good, feels comfortable. I think that's a good thing for me. I think it's exciting because I've been around at stages laterally when I played, when I was a coach, when things built up to what was getting to Euros, which was brilliant. And with the opportunity to get to a World Cup in 3 months is very exciting.
Does that feel like something that's been missing in your career, a major tournament at international level? Obviously didn't achieve it as a player and for the reasons you mentioned, just missed out as a coach before.
Yeah, to be part of the journey to the Euros was great, because I think you could see each step, and I think if you look at the squad as a whole, players are now in their prime. They were at the very start of that journey when I was here, and at club and country they've pushed to become legends, big players at their clubs and Ballon d'Or nominees. So yeah, it's good, and I think that the biggest change I've seen is that maturity, the understanding. The guys now have got bags of experience in massive competitions with their clubs, and they've been to major tournaments with Scotland. The next step is the World Cup.
When you look at the quality of the players in the squad now, as you mentioned, guys that are nominated for the Ballon d'Or, does this feel like the best chance the Scotland team has had to qualify for the World Cup?
It's a really good one, but that doesn't mean it's there just to take. You need to work hard for it, and I think international football, there's always the bumps. I think from the time I was here as a coach to now, there has been a transition. I think we've got more exciting young players pushing on the door, and as I said, that core group of experienced boys have done well, but you need to do it. You need to, one, make sure you're up and have that fighting mentality that I think we've shown, and secondly, having the quality to win games and get the points that you need. And what's probably slightly different is a much more condensed qualifying campaign. It's not going to be over the years, and obviously you've got the winter period where you're away for a longer period of time. This is condensed. You could build real momentum, and that starts in this week ahead.
What would it mean to you if Scotland are to qualify for the World Cup and you're in that dugout next summer?
That'd be brilliant to experience it. Like I said, I've played a part in previous campaigns as a coach to get to the Euros, and for one reason or another you're not part of that squad, but yeah, it'd be great. You feel that bond and the attachment, and also the journey of the players. You've been part of it, so it would be a brilliant, proud moment.
You talk about that condensed period and the momentum. How important do you feel it is then, especially with such a short qualifying campaign, to get off to the best possible start on Friday?
Yeah, it's important. You've got 2 tough games away from home, and I think everybody in the group will sit there and think we've got a chance here, and that's where you need to just go out and do it and prove it. I think where we are as a squad is good. We've got players, majority are fit. I think over the last 2 years you've got Hickey, Doak, even going into the last Euros, players coming back from injury. We've had guys now who have had full pre-seasons, even though they've had injuries, which is important. The early part of a season as well, you've got, from my experience as a player, you've got that enthusiasm, you want to be playing, you want to be involved. We've got to use all that. The first game away to Denmark is going to be really tough. But I think a big part of what's improved is us controlling games, whether that's with possession, where we play the game, and that's going to be really important come Friday night.
You know how Steve works, you know a lot of the players as well. When it is such a short space of time over these 3 months, how important do you think that is in terms of, you're saying just slotting straight back in and getting back to business?
Yeah, it is. I think what's been built over the last 4 or 5 years in terms of when players turn up, they understand what's expected, what they're coming into, what's going to help them recover, be ready, what they're needing tactically. All that has progressed massively over the last 4 or 5 years. That momentum side of it, that's what we need to use. We need to use that these next 3 or 4 days. We'll have a training session today. Tonight we'll will evaluate where the squad's at, who's feeling what, if anything, and you've got to use these three days to build up to that game. After that game, you need to keep that momentum going, and like I said, we're fortunate now that every player that's selected wants to be here. There's nobody that's half in. If they seize the opportunity, one, personally get caps, but two, chance to get to more major tournaments, and that's what, from the fans to the coaching staff to the players, everybody wants.
When you reflect on, sorry Alison, I was just going to say, when you reflect on the squad you were in as a player and going through those campaigns, do you see a distinct difference in whether it is the culture, the attitude, the belief, the confidence in this group of players and what they've been through over the last 5 years that maybe was not there in previous squads that you were in?
Definitely. Everything you mentioned there, whether it's the setup, the mentality, the understanding of what's needed, and that every game doesn't go to plan, and in them moments it's critical that your experienced players, your leaders on the pitch, guide you through that and it doesn't get away from you. And I think in my playing career there was maybe 1 or 2 moments in a campaign that kills your chances of making it to a tournament, and also I think this squad's got a real togetherness that if you have the disappointment that you're not playing or you're taking off, it doesn't linger. It's there, you can be disappointed, but then you're there for the squad, and I think that's been the biggest difference I've seen from first time round as a coach and even coming back in.
Is this a squad, Stephen, with enough quality to go and get to a World Cup?
I definitely think so. Yeah, and that isn't just your Andy Robertsons, John McGinns, McTominays and guys like that. It's the younger ones that are coming through. I think Kieran Bow's a prime example of somebody who's started the season really well. Coming in here, he's full of confidence. He'll want to prove what he can do, and that's the balance of a squad. Lennon Miller's got a really big move, a next step of his career. These guys will learn every day in training what's expected and what it takes to be in a Scotland squad. But the most important thing is that we turn up on the nights of the games and we defend well, but we work harder than the teams and we cause a threat going forward.
You obviously have the experience of being part of the playing staff for a World Cup qualification campaign. How important is mentality against quality?
Mentality is massive, and it's easier to get at a club because you're there every day and you can build that, but that's credit to the manager, the backroom staff, and then the players that have been here the majority of the time. They're the ones that built that here. They're the ones that have guided the new guys in the group to say there's nobody here and it's about the individual, it's all about the group, and it's shown. You don't get to 2 Euros without that, and that's why this one's exciting. The World Cup's the one that's missing for these guys that have went to Euros, got that monkey off the back in terms of getting to a major tournament, follow up with another one. The next stage is getting to a World Cup.
Was it an easy decision to come back into the national team setup, or was there any temptation to hold out for a club job?
No, I think I've said consistently that for me it's what you're going to. I loved being a manager, I love the intensity of it, but I'm just not going to jump in. I was never going to just jump in. And over the course of being out, you reflect, you build on things that you think went well, and you try and take that into whatever's new. And for me, I think I'm in a better place as a coach now to come back in than I was at the start. And hopefully I can help with that in the background.
You mentioned Kieran Bow started the season there, Stephen. In comparison, how much of a concern is it for the first time really Andy Robertson's not starting for Liverpool? He's not getting the game time that we've previously seen him have. He is that leader on the pitch, you're speaking about experience. How much of a concern is that?
I don't think it's this stage of the season. He's come through a pre-season. He's a decent amount of minutes. I think the league campaign started in one respect, but when the manager's then making you the vice captain shows how much you're valued. I think at a club like that, throughout the course of the season, he'll play a lot, and he's a top quality left back at top level. The squads are built with the amount of games in mind, and the quality is very tight. So I don't think there's any concern there at all. And again, like I said, at this point of the season, when players turn up at the start of a season, you've went through the grind of pre-season, you are feeling in good shape, that enthusiasm will come into the squad with every player that comes in.